Clerk will report.
Motion to proceed to calendar number 311, H.R. 7147, an act making further consolidated appropriations for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2026, and for other purposes.
Listen,
Mr. President,
if you care about election integrity, if you care about the future of America, then what John Thune just said on the Senate floor is something you need to hear. Because this isn't complicated, this isn't radical. This is common sense. So here we are. The Senate is in session on a Sunday. That alone tells you something serious is happening. And what's on the table? The Save America Act, a bill focused on one thing: protecting the integrity of American elections. Now, let me break this down for you in plain English.
The clerk will report.
Motion to proceed to calendar number 311, H.R. 7147, an act making further consolidated appropriations for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2026, and for other purposes.
Mr. President, it's rare for the Senate to be in session on a Sunday. Needless to say, the fact that we are here today tells you that what we're doing is important work, and that is the Save America Act. Mr. President, the core of the Save America Act is securing American elections. And a big way the bill accomplishes that is with two common sense policies: requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote and requiring a photo ID when you go to cast a ballot. Polls show that both measures have support from a vast majority of the American public. In fact, one poll showed that most Americans think you already have to prove you're a citizen in order to register to vote. Proof of citizenship is a requirement when you apply for government benefits. Proof of citizenship or legal status is required when you go to join the military. And every job in this country requires new hires to fill out a Form I-9 proving that they are a citizen or otherwise eligible to work in this country. Mr. President, if we expect this of Americans and other aspects of their lives, why shouldn't we expect it when Americans go to register to vote? It's just common sense. But under current law, you don't need to prove you're actually eligible to vote when you register. State efforts to require proof of citizenship when registering to vote have been challenged in court. And courts have said that states cannot go beyond the requirements of the standard federal voter registration form created by the 1993 National Voter Registration Act, a form that does not require voters to prove that they are American citizens. The Save America Act would fix that by requiring that individuals provide proof of citizenship when they register to vote. Mr. President, when it comes to showing photo ID at the polls, not only do most Americans support it, 36 states already require it. Red states, blue states, swing states. And I suspect that one of the reasons requiring a photo ID seems so common sense to Americans is because showing a photo ID is something the American people have to do for a whole host of other things in their daily lives. You drive a car, you need to have a license with you. If you do an early pickup at your kid's school, you need to show a photo ID. If you want to get a library card, you need a photo ID. And, Mr. President, as I pointed out the other day, Washington, D.C. requires a photo ID to use a city recreation center. But you can vote. You can vote in D.C., perhaps even in that same rec center that requires an ID to play basketball, without showing an ID. Mr. President, that doesn't make any sense. Republicans aren't asking for much here. We're just asking to make our elections as secure as the local rec center. Now, Mr. President, while Democrats have long acted as if requiring a photo ID is some sort of intolerable burden to place on voters, since the Save America Act debate began, they spent a lot of time hedging on this issue. In fact, on Tuesday, Leader Schumer announced that Democrats now support voter ID. And then on Thursday, the junior Republican senator from Ohio, the current presiding officer, and a former chief election official in his state offered a bill to require photo ID to vote. That's all it would have done. Require a photo ID when you go to the polls. Driver's license, military ID, tribal ID, passport. And Democrats, Mr. President? Democrats blocked it. And they more than blocked it. Their response was to offer a bill that included, if you can believe this, a nationwide ban on voter ID for absentee ballots. That's right. Democrats who now claim to support voter ID proposed a nationwide ban on voter ID requirements. Requirements that already exist in a number of states, including my state of South Dakota. Well, Mr. President, if that's Democrats supporting voter ID, I'd hate to see what them opposing it would look like. Mr. President, there will be other opportunities in this debate for Democrats to support common sense voter integrity measures, including voter ID. And every Democrat will be put on the record for the American people to see. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
This bill pushes two very simple requirements. 1, proof of citizenship to register to vote. 2, photo ID to actually vote. That's it. No extreme measures. No wild overreach. Just basic verification. And here's the kicker. According to Thune, most Americans already believe these rules exist. Think about that. People assume our elections are already protected at this basic level, but they're not. Let me ask you something. You need ID to asterisk drive a car, asterisk get a job, asterisk join the military, asterisk even pick up your kid from school. But somehow voting, one of the most important rights in a democracy, no verification required? That makes zero sense. And Thune nailed it when he said, in Washington, D.C., you need ID to enter a recreation center, but not to vote in some cases. So let me get this straight. You need ID to play basketball, but not to decide the future of the country? Come on. Now here's where it gets even more frustrating. Current federal law, going all the way back to the 1993 National Voter Registration Act, doesn't require proof of citizenship to register. And when states try to fix that, they get blocked in court. So states are basically told, you can't secure your own elections beyond this outdated federal standard. That's exactly what the Save America Act is trying to fix. Now let's talk about the political reality here. According to Thune, Democrats, led by people like Chuck Schumer, are sending mixed signals. 1 minute, they say they support voter ID. The next, they block a bill that would require it. And not just block it, they propose something even more extreme. A nationwide ban on voter ID requirements for absentee ballots. Wait, what? So while claiming to support ID laws, are they trying to remove them in key areas? That's not consistency. That's a contradiction. Look, this isn't about left versus right anymore. This is about trust. If people don't trust elections, they don't trust the system. And if they don't trust the system, you start losing the foundation of the country. Every legal vote should count, but only legal votes should count. That's not controversial. That's patriotic. And Thune made one thing very clear. Every senator is going to be on record. No hiding. No dodging. When it comes time to vote on these measures, the American people will see exactly where their leaders stand. So here's the bottom line. Requiring proof of citizenship? Common sense. Requiring voter ID? Common sense. Securing elections? Absolutely necessary. The question isn't whether these policies make sense. The real question is, why would anyone oppose them? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe voter ID should be mandatory nationwide? And if you believe in secure elections, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, because conversations like this matter more than ever.